You have probably heard it a million times, and it is something I truly believe in. Exercise is good for you. But what if I told you that new science is showing us something even more profound? A recent study suggests that a single workout session can fundamentally change your blood chemistry in a way that, in a laboratory setting, appears to slow down the growth of cancer cells. This is a powerful and beautifully simple idea. When you move your body, you can actively change your blood, and in doing so, you can give your health a helping hand in a way we are only just beginning to understand. The concept is straightforward. Our muscles are not just for lifting and moving. They are active, dynamic organs that communicate with the rest of our system. When we put them to work, they release a cascade of helpful signals into our bloodstream. These signals can travel throughout our body, influencing inflammation, influencing our immune response. This new research provides a fascinating glimpse into this process, showing a direct link between a short burst of exercise and a potentially cancer-fighting effect observed in a lab. Imagine that with every push, pull, or step, you are sending out waves of positive messages to your cells. It takes the general advice to get more exercise and gives it a tangible biological meaning that is incredibly motivating. For anyone who has faced a health challenge, or for those of us simply trying to live healthier and longer lives, this news is a shot of hope. It reminds us that we have agency. We can take action today with just one workout and create a change on a cellular level. The journey of health is often a marathon, not a sprint, filled with small, consistent steps. But this research highlights that even a single step, or a single 45-minute workout, can make a measurable difference. It is an empowering message that resonates deeply, especially for those who might feel overwhelmed by long-term fitness plans. The positive changes begin the moment you decide to move. This is a story of science, but it is also a story of hope, resilience, and the remarkable capabilities of the human body. Let's dive into the details of this exciting research, which came from a team in Australia. The study focused on a specific group of people, women who had already completed their treatment for breast cancer. This is a crucial group to study. Many survivors are actively looking for ways to stay healthy, reduce the risk of their cancer returning. The 32 women who participated were, on average, 59 years old, and at least 4 months past their last treatment. The design of the study was elegant in its simplicity. Instead, they asked for just one focused workout session lasting 45 minutes. This is a key point because it isolates the immediate effects of exercise. The women were divided into 2 groups. One group performed resistance training, which involves using weights or machines to challenge the muscles. Think of exercises like chest presses, leg presses, rows. The other group engaged in high-intensity interval training, or HIIT, using cardio machines like bikes and treadmills, performing short bursts of intense effort, followed by periods of rest. To see what was happening inside the body, the research team took blood samples at 3 key moments. They took a sample before the workout began to get a baseline reading. They took another sample immediately after the 45-minute session was over. And finally, they took a third sample 30 minutes later to see how the blood chemistry continued to evolve during the initial recovery period. This meticulous approach allowed them to capture a snapshot of the rapid changes that occur in the bloodstream in response to physical exertion. They were hunting for specific markers that could tell a story about the body's reaction to the exercise. The researchers were particularly interested in a group of proteins called myokines, which are released by muscle cells during contraction. These proteins are the focus of the story. After collecting the blood, the team analyzed it to measure the levels of these myokines. But they did not stop there. They then took the post-exercise blood serum, the liquid part of the blood rich with these newly released proteins, and introduced it to breast cancer cells growing in a petri dish. Their goal was to observe whether the blood of an exercised person had any different effect on cancer cell growth compared to the blood taken before exercise. This is where the study's most stunning finding emerged. In the Australian study, the researchers saw a significant spike in myokine levels right after the workout. For instance, in the group that did HIIT, a myokine called IL-6 increased by as much as 47%. In the resistance training group, another myokine called decorin rose by about 23%. When the researchers applied the women's post-exercise blood to cancer cells in the lab, they saw a noticeable slowdown in the cell's growth. They estimated that the presence of these elevated myokines could inhibit cancer cell proliferation by approximately 20% to 30%. It is important to be clear, this is not a cure for cancer, but it is a powerful clue. It suggests that our own muscles can produce substances that have a suppressive effect on cancer cells. This lab result gives us a potential biological explanation for why regular physical activity is consistently linked to better outcomes for cancer survivors. One of the most practical questions that comes out of this study is, what kind of exercise should I be doing? The researchers tested two very different styles: high-intensity interval training, HIIT, traditional resistance training. The great news is that both of them worked. Both types increased myokines. Both showed a similar anti-cancer effect in lab tests. The resistance training program was a classic full-body routine. The women performed exercises like the chest press, seated row leg press lunges. They worked all the major muscle groups, completing sets of repetitions with short rest periods in between. The HIIT workout, on the other hand, was all about cardiovascular intensity. The women in this group used machines like stationary bikes or treadmills. They performed 7 rounds of a very simple pattern: 30 seconds of all-out, hard work followed by a full 3 minutes of rest and recovery. This method is designed to push your heart rate up significantly for a very short period and then allow it to come back down before you go again. It is an incredibly efficient way to improve cardiovascular fitness and, as this study shows, to trigger that powerful myokine release from your muscles. So, if both workouts are effective, which one should you choose? The lead researcher noted that the key driver of the myokine response seems to be intensity, not necessarily the specific type of exercise. This means that how hard you work is more important than whether you are lifting a weight or pedaling a bike. Both methods get your heart pumping and your muscles firing, and that is what appears to matter most. This is empowering because it means you can tailor your fitness plan to what you enjoy and what you have access to. The best workout is, and always will be, the one you consistently do. You do not need a fancy gym membership or complicated equipment to get started. The principles from the study can be adapted into a simple, safe routine that you can begin this week. Let's look at 2 starter plans, one for resistance training, one for HIIT, that capture the spirit of the research. Remember, challenge yourself safely, listen to your body, and build consistency. Talk to your doctor before beginning, especially if you have existing health concerns. For a simple resistance workout, focus on body weight or light resistance bands. This makes it accessible to do at home. Wall push-ups, body weight squats, glute bridges rows using a resistance band looped around a doorknob. Aim for 2 to 3 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions for each exercise. Rest for about a minute between sets. Focus on good form. Move slowly and with control. The weight should feel challenging by the last reps, but never sacrifice form or tolerate sharp pain. If you prefer HIIT, you can do it without machines. Warm up 5 minutes with light walking or marching in place. Start your intervals. 30 seconds, fast walking. 30 seconds, high knees. 30 seconds, jumping jacks. Aim for effort around 7 or 8 out of 10 for each 30-second interval. Then recover with 2 to 3 minutes of slow walking or marching to let your heart rate come down. Start with 4 or 5 rounds and gradually build up to 7 or 8 as you get fitter. The most important takeaway, just begin. Don't get bogged down finding the perfect routine. Choose one option and try it. Commit. Resistance on Monday, HIIT on Thursday. On other days, a simple walk is still incredibly beneficial. The study showed that just one 45-minute session made a difference. Imagine the cumulative effect of doing that a few times every week. You are not just exercising. You are actively sending waves of those healing myokines throughout your body, one workout at a time. One of the easiest ways is to use the rate of perceived exertion, the RPE scale. 1 is sitting on the couch. 10 is the absolute hardest you could possibly work. You should be breathing heavily, unable to hold a full conversation, but not feeling dizzy or unwell. Safety must always be your top priority. Always warm up for at least 5 minutes before increasing your intensity, and always cool down afterward. The most significant limitation is the size of the study. With only 32 women, it's a small trial. Larger studies are needed. More diverse participants are needed. This study focused only on women treated for breast cancer. We don't know if the same effects appear in prostate cancer, colon cancer, or lung cancer. A lab environment is very different from the human body. It's important to be clear, this is not a cure for cancer, but it is a powerful clue. Researchers will tackle these questions next. They plan longer-term studies to see how regular exercise impacts the immune system and cancer outcomes over months and years. This study is a bright flash, illuminating a new path forward. Now the scientific community will walk down that path to explore it more fully. Let's create a simple weekly blueprint that incorporates the key lessons from this study. The goal is consistency and a smart mix of intensity and recovery. And as always, get the green light from your doctor before you start. This variety can help prevent boredom and work your body in different ways. This blueprint is not rigid, it is a flexible guide. The key is to build a sustainable habit that makes you feel strong and empowered. When you boil it all down, the message from this remarkable study is one of profound hope and empowerment. It reinforces a truth that we are all beginning to appreciate more and more. Our bodies have an incredible innate capacity to heal and protect themselves. Let it be the reason you put on your sneakers today. Every step, every lift, every bead of sweat is a conversation you are having with your body. You are not a